I only have like an hour left before quiet time, so I gotta make this a quick one. But for this video, I really want to have a huge discussion planned. So I figured I'd talk to you about it now. So I want to apologize for not uploading videos in a few weeks. I was too busy with a lot of things going on. Plus, I had an inspection check-in on the day we had a huge snowstorm. And Tuesday, I believe, we're going to have another snowstorm here in the Northeast. But this is not what I'm going to talk about in this video. This video is another commentary video, and this video is going to be talking about why I'm moving to Canada. So, for the last few weeks, I've made this decision to move to Canada, and I want to explain to you why. So, if you guys don't know, and if you guys don't know outside the US, here in America, we've been dealing with a lot of mass shootings recently, including the one that we had in Michigan, in the country, and in Michigan, United States, at a college. And it's really tragic. But one of the survivors, I believe it or not, one of the survivors survived another mass shooting because from what I heard, she was in Newtown, Connecticut. Correct me, I think it was Newtown, Connecticut. But she was in Newtown, Connecticut, where a school shooting happened at Sandy Hook. And this is one of the reasons why I'm moving to Canada, because I don't want to deal with mass shootings here in America anymore. So the first ever massacre in America that happened during my lifetime, I believe it was the Columbine Massacre on April 20th, 1999. Oh, by the way, an episode of Futurama was aired on the exact same day. But let's focus on this video, why I'm moving to Canada. So, now going back to the mass shootings we've been dealing with. In 2007, when I was in my first grade year for the final few months, there was a massacre at VTech, including a perpetrator who was Korean. And it was very deadly. I believe 30 or 40 people were killed, and it was very tragic. And then 2012, when I was in middle school, it was very awful. Someone had decided to enter Sandy Hook Elementary School, killed children in there, lots of children, and few of them were staff. And another elementary school, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to go into that discussion. And in Las Vegas in 2017, there was a huge shooting at a country concert where Jason Aldean was performing. And in 2018, in my 12th grade year, there was a horrible shooting on Valentine's Day in Parkland, Florida. It's very awful here in America. And if you want to move out of your country, I recommend you stay away from America, because it's not doing good here. And it's very awful. And if you are not aware, some of the cities have been dealing with a higher crime rate too, higher shootings. Philadelphia has the highest shootings. Chicago has the highest shootings. St. Louis has the highest shootings. Memphis, New Orleans, Detroit, Baltimore, Maryland, New York City, you name it. If you guys don't know, I had to plan to move to Chicago, but too many people were talking about gun violence in Chicago. Plus, I was going to be moving to Los Angeles, but they had a history of gang violence, so there's no way I'm moving to LA. And I know a lot of you people in Vermont would think Vermont may be a peaceful state, but the only problem is it's part of America. And believe it or not, this year we had 2 shootings so far in Vermont. I could be wrong, but there has been 2 shootings so far in Vermont. Last year we had few shootings here in Springfield, Vermont. One of them died, and I just can't deal being here in America anymore. And sure, Canada has crime, sure, Canada has shootings, but it's not like America. And I'm very glad Canada is one of the most peaceful countries in the world. If you Canadians disagree with me, I'll handle your opinion. But to me, Canada is very peaceful, and even lists on there too for the GPI. You can go check that out. Last year it was placed on the number 12 spot, but it was still peaceful. At least it was still peaceful. But, yeah, I've just gotten fed up with what's been going on in America with all the shootings. So, I want to go into another reason why. Well, not really, but what I'm going to do in Canada. So, when I move to Canada, I will be very happy to start a new life. I had a plan to move to Boston to start a new life, and even though they have lower murders, but in Canada, it would be better for me to have a peaceful new life. And I will be moving to Toronto. And sure, Toronto has crime, but it's nothing similar to American cities like Chicago and Detroit. But I will still be careful. I gotta be careful with all the surroundings in Toronto, though, because it is the largest city in Canada. So, yeah. But what I'm gonna do is, besides moving to Toronto, is go visit other Canadian cities. Vancouver, Saskatoon, Regina, Winnipeg, Quebec City, Montreal, and Calgary and Edmonton. And that's all the cities I would love to visit to. Plus, I can go hiking at Jasper National Park in Alberta, check out this huge glass bridge. Hell, go on the CN Tower. There are a lot of things I can't think of when I move away to Canada. But there's also a theme park too that I would love to check out, including a ski resort, which is in Toronto, specifically. Will I still support America's soccer team and Olympics team? Absolutely. Because I was born an American. And even if when I moved to Canada, according to the research, I will still be American. Even if I have granted permanent residency, I will still be an American. But you can look it up for yourselves if you want. But, yeah. Let's go back to the mass shootings. Recently, we had a mass shooting in Michigan at a college. I think that's what I've already said before. I think. But yeah, we went through a mass shooting in Michigan and a mass shooting in California on Looters Day weekend. I could be wrong, correct me. But almost last year, there was a mass shooting at an elementary school in Uvalde. And this country's getting a lot awful recently. I know there's been lots of activists out there that wants to stop, but I don't want to talk about that. And I'm very glad when I move to Canada, I don't have to deal with all the shootings in the United States. Sure, there's going to be some shootings in Canada, but it's not like America. Yeah, that is basically much it. I'm going to move to Canada, start a new life. And by the way, today I have decided to start a playlist I made for a 7-hour trip to Toronto. I just need to get medically cleared to go back to driving and getting a license and hopefully have enough money. And I don't care if it's expensive or not. I'm moving to Canada. Whether if it's expensive or not, I'm moving there. But I will still become a famous singer, just so you know. And I already watched a video for ideas and all that kind of stuff, so thank you for that advice. Much appreciated. But I already watched the video on it. So that is basically much it for this video, besides wanting to move to Canada. Anyways, I'm Lance Robinson, known as Lance Robinson TV, and you are not. And I'll see you in the next video. So, peace, and enjoy the rest of February.